Greetings, it's Ronan O from FIGHTERCON.com. We're going to be going through a walkthrough of Marvel Superheroes. This game was created back in 1995 by Capcom for the CPS2 engine. It was later ported to the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation in 1997. We're going to be doing a walkthrough of Iron Man today, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the game. So, as you can see here, we have 10 characters, 6 heroes, 4 super villains. I'm going to go ahead and pick Iron Man, and I'm going to go ahead and pick the Turbo. So, at this time, we're going to go ahead and fight Hulk, and let's go ahead and get this thing started. Marvel Superheroes is a sequel. Actually, it's not a direct sequel or anything like that. It is actually based off of the previous game that was played, which was X-Men: Children of the Atom. In fact, most of the characters in Marvel Superheroes were not in X-Men: Children of the Atom. The only exceptions in this particular game were Wolverine, Psylocke, and Magneto. I believe that that game did well enough for Capcom to warrant another game for Marvel, so they decided to go after which was popular then in the comic book storyline for Marvel, which was Marvel Superheroes and the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. And this storyline involved heroes and villains battling each other for these gems, which are the cornerstone point of this particular game. When fighting, you acquire these gems from the other opponent, and you can use them to your advantage. Just as a quick breakdown before we get any further into the game, you have your standard 6-button configuration, so jab, medium, fierce, short, forward, roundhouse. You can dash forward and backwards. Some characters have the ability of flying, like Iron Man does, same motions as you may have used in Marvel vs. games, so that has not changed. But it has changed from the predecessor. X-Men: Children of the Atom was known for its horrendous difficulty in dealing with trying to chain combos together with certain characters. In addition to that, high scaling damage for some of the major hitters in the game. Silver Samurai and Colossus are guilty of that little aspect, although I do miss having Omega Red out there to play with. In this instance here, I also wanted to talk about the combo system as well. It's changed from X-Men: Children of the Atom. It had kind of a rudimentary basic combo system. This one is a little more blatant. It goes, in the standard low, medium, fierce type combo style. So you can do chain combos. I like to say chain because I used to be an old school Street Fighter Alpha player, so I'm more accustomed to saying that than what other people might say, or just standardized normal combos. You can do OTGs, as you just saw there. I OTG'd into the Power Gem. Power Gem does aggravated damage. I'll get more into the gems here in a few moments, but I wanted to cover some of the bare grounds of the system. It does have an aerial rave system, and what most people don't know is that some of the infinites that you see in Marvel and Marvel 2 and X-Men vs. Street Fighter came from this game. So some of that stuff still applies even to the later games that have came, after this one. I guess the best way to jump into this is to talk about the gems now. The gem system is implemented to give you a boost in whatever aspect of what that gem represents. But in addition to that, based off of who you picked in the game, it actually reflects to that character too, in giving them latent, or I should say, inherent abilities that are based off of their character playstyle. So let's take, for example, Psylocke right now has the reality gem, and in a few moments here she's going to use that gem. And what that gem does is it allows you to add additional attacks, like the lightning attacks you see there, to incorporate into normal combos. While useful, as you noticed, that bar was there and now it's gone. So the gems are not designed to last forever. They're just designed for a temporary moment in in your fighting to give you a chance to get the advantage over the opponent, or even possibly win in a last minute situation. They're not meant like X Factor, as you're currently seeing in Marvel 3 Vanilla, where X Factor is used to, hammer out the rest of the game as Dark Phoenix, or any other character that has high input and output damage. But at the same time, I'm not a hater. Let me square that away right now. I think the games are great. I honestly do. It's a really good time to be a fighter. The person that's in the fighting community is having loads of fun. Now, we are having a few issues, and it's mostly the reason why I wanted to bring up the gym thing now, is because I hear the grumblings on Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and let me school you guys for just a moment. I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. I think that Capcom has considered, some of the ways they could approach the gym system when they were creating it, and I also think that they have the opportunity to make modifications. It's still early, but I think you guys should just give them a chance, because as you can see here, as the gyms are being used, it's not forever. I mean, it's literally a brief moment in time, and it also presents an opportunity to have more of a different play style, because there's only going to be so many characters in the game, and you are going to run into that mirror match at some point. And what good is that mirror match if this guy has the same moveset as you, or you're not comfortable with fighting yourself in a certain aspect. Now, if you find difference in yourself when you're playing with the gyms, then maybe it's more beneficial in that way. And I'm not trying to look at it as, this whole thing is going to be positive. There are negative things about this too. The only thing that I can kind of ascertain from it, though, is that I think we should just let it fly and see what it does. We can't just, immediately shut it down, because what if it is good? And then, there really wasn't any problem to start with. But, if there is a problem, we address it. And they're pretty quick about addressing things that become game-breaking issues, especially now. Back when we were doing this in the arcade, game-breaking issues didn't exist. That just means it was in the game, you had to deal with it. So it's not like, you're going to have an opportunity to say that anymore. It's, they're just going to be like, yeah, alright, we'll patch it. So I'm kind of cool with the situation as it is right now. What I'm more disconcerted with is that, a lot of people are complaining about the multiple versions of games and so on and so forth. I'm like, I really don't have a direct opinion on this either, but what I can tell you is that if you are a long-time fighter like me, dude, you're loving it right now, because there were times where a fighting game didn't come out for 2-3 years after the original came out, and you were so good at the original whatever vanilla version of Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever that came out that you didn't even want to play that Joker anymore. So while I am a little discouraged about the newer versions that appear, I mean, I understand everybody's out there to make money, but I'm not really sweating it too much either, because it's not like they're charging you $60 per game each time they do a different rendition. So there is a plus side to that. And the changes are, in most cases, significant enough to warrant a price change. I'm not saying that it should be their standard, quote in quotations, you know what I mean? But, they will have to monitor that very carefully, because it's going to turn into a situation where if we start to come to expect it, then they can't really weasel their way out of not doing it now. So, if Ultimate Marvel comes out and then you're like, oh, well, we need to make some serious changes and then release another game, then, we're going to be saying, okay, so what's the next one going to be called? Hyper Ultra Marvel versus Count 10, you get the idea. But either way, back to this game. The only thing I had to say regarding that is, let's trust Capcom to do the right thing in this situation. If not, us as a community will stand up and say what we need to say and get it fixed. That's just how it works. We've always been good about that. Right now, we'll go back into the gym roles. As you've seen, Wolverine received the Power Gem, and he gained an attribute, his Berserker Rage, from most of the Marvel and X-Men Versus games that you've seen. Environmental changes in this particular game. I mean, the game has quite a few things that, kind of translated over into the newer versions of, these Versus games. I honestly really did enjoy this back in the day when it was in the arcade. I didn't get to play it as much as I liked, but it was still pretty fun. Now, in a few moments, you're going to see Magneto use the Space Gem, and you're going to see another attribute that plays in the part. Space Gem is designed around defense, so anybody that receives it gets automatic, gets super armor, Iron Man, Spider-Man, but in Magneto's case, he gets a force field where he can attack in reckless abandon with no mercy, and it lasts quite a bit of time. I'd say about maybe 4 or 5 seconds. So you can get a lot done with Magneto in 4 or 5 seconds if you know how to play. But fortunately, I was able to hold fast in that, and he didn't get too far ahead of me in that. He is snatching quite a few gems from me, though. I'm not too happy about that. I was playing him kind of poor here. I believe I make up for it in the next round, but at the same time, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the game because I don't think it's very super competitive worthy. I think it's more of a fun game to play with your friends, maybe once in a while, a couple of matches here and there, but it's not on the level that, I'd even say that X-Men vs. Street Fighter was, or even Marvel vs. Capcom, when the games were in their prime. I enjoyed it, but it didn't seem like something that, I dragged a lot of seriousness to. Now, I'm sure there's plenty of combo videos and plenty of explanation videos out there saying, okay, you should be doing this. And if you want to learn in that capacity, go right ahead, but the community's not really clamoring to, jump back on the bandwagon for this particular game. They love Marvel games. I can't say that enough, but at the same time, this is more of a niche situation where if you want to go back and revisit something that, awesome like this, I would, and it's totally worth the money. As far as the future, maybe they'll come back and release this on Xbox Live, which for I can't really say 10. I'd say maybe the 400 Microsoft points. That'd be a good idea. Maybe release a collection of the CPS2 games. That'd probably be pretty cool. If you released a whole bunch of them at once and then charged $20, yeah, I'd be all over that. That'd be no problem at all. I don't know if you could, keep Xbox Live capabilities with that though, because everybody's all about getting online, and I assure you, with GGPO, it's doable, but even GGPO is not perfect. I'm pretty sure all you Third Strike people out there are like, yeah, it's not perfect. But no big deal. I'm fighting the squid now, and I know this battle is going to take me into part 2. What I want to do is do a quick shout out to Maximilian for his Assist Me videos. Max, dude, you're amazing. And Doom, you ate my sandwich, Doom. I want my sandwich back. At the same time, go ahead, if you like the videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I will continue to make these videos because they're part of my site. I would like you guys to join the community. Just come and visit us at FIGHTERCON.com. I'm going to be putting up videos all the time, so it just takes me a little while. I am only one person. But at the same time, we want to hear from you. If you got communities or tournaments going on in the area, let us know. We'll post them and let other people know, and have people come out. Make the community as strong as it was when I was young doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a little link down at the bottom right here. and I need you guys to go ahead and click on that, and then I will see you over in part 2. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate it.